welcome. You clicked on this video because either two reasons. One, you saw the weekly update, or two, you saw the traditional and indie publishing, which is the main topic today. Now, I would like to go through what I'm planning to do for my novel. Now, on this channel, I do have a video of my entire journey up until this point, so definitely go check that out if you are new here. But we are planning on publishing it. And when you publish, you have one of really two routes, unless you go hybrid. You have indie and you have traditional. Both offer very different things, but it's really hard to pick. I'm going to attempt to do this all in one cut. And I don't really have any notes on this, I'm just going to speak my thoughts. But before we get into that, let's actually quickly do the weekly check-in. Now, we have technically finished the novel. We just have a few more scenes to write in, but we'll do that along the way. We are mainly editing and polishing like all the 2,000 mistakes that are sitting in the novel. So for the 4 days, since this week has been populated with the National Novel Writers Month in the first half, second half has been editing. I would put our progress at, hopefully I did this right, 78%. Now I'm going to tell you why. I've edited roughly 6 chapters. They're not fully to their perfect state, and I still need to reread them, edit, do all the other jazz. But I would say that they're a pretty good state so far. Very more readable. But what I'm thinking is we gotta think about the traditional and the indie publishing. Because if we don't, then we're gonna be kind of stuck in a loop and we'll never be able to get the book out. Okay. This is where the actual topic of the video comes in, so I'll try and timestamp it. 2 routes, traditional or indie. Which one do we pick? I'm still stuck. I'm leaning more towards indie right now, but we could also do traditional. It really does, it matters a lot. So let's go through the first, let's just do pros and cons about them. Now for traditional, put up some words on the screen. Traditional publishing is great to get your name out there, get your books in bookstores, get advances, and eventually royalties after that, and all the jazz. Paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. The only problems with traditional that I'm looking at is 2 problems. A, I need to extend my book, basically doubling it, because for a debut YA fantasy / comedy, you'll probably need around 65,000 words. We're at like 37, probably pushing 40, maybe upper 50s. So that's going to be a bit hard. Other reason is I want to get my book out there to all you guys. And what I mean by that is I want it to be kind of free on the web. Now, hear me out. You're going to be like, free book, what? No, this is my plan, right? Swap it over to indie. Here's why I'm leaning more against indie. A, I pretty much have all the rights over it. B, I get to ship the book out pretty much everywhere. Only really downside is it doesn't land in bookshelves and bookstores and libraries and all that, which that doesn't really matter as long as the push that this marketing can get doesn't really matter. Only other pro, that I love about indie is that we can have it published in like a hand state so we can hold the book up. But what we can also do, since we own the rights to it, we can actually just put it up on the web, like for free. And that's one of the things I want to do for this book, is I don't want it to be gatekept or put behind a paywall. And I know that traditional publishing helps a lot by getting your book out there to bookstores. People will eventually pick it up, they'll see your name, they'll buy you, and they'll continue forever. Indie publishing though, they have to find it on Amazon, unless you're doing something else than KDP. But we're doing KDP, most likely. KDP? I think that's the acronym for it. Just the print on demand that Amazon offers. Now, what I mean by putting my book out there for free is I mean that we would put the EPUB, maybe the text file or something of the sort out there for free. Now, I'm still iffy about this decision, and this is the main reason. It's because if I talk about the book too much on this channel and then I decide right at the end I want to go down traditional publishing, I will not be able to. So that's why I've sort of gatekeeped the entire book right now. It's because if I talk too much about it, if I spoil too many major plot points, or if I give away too much detail, then I cannot go down the traditional publishing route because they would consider it as published and in form of all these little short videos. That's one of the main reasons I've been thinking not to show the book. But if we do indie, I can talk about it every day. And I would probably talk about it every day. So that's another pro for indie. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Either we go traditional and it comes out 2-3 years later, once it's done editing and formatting and whatnot, or we go indie and we could probably push it out in the next maybe 6 months. Like that's probably highball. But yeah, I don't really know. The only problems I have with traditional publishing, right, is A, they do the cover for you. That isn't as big as a problem, but that would really annoy me if I get a bad cover because you can't really change it. And B is that you can't really push your work out there as much as indie, right? And you can't talk about the book too much or else it's considered published here on YouTube. And that's oh man, paperwork, all that jazz. It's just looking a lot harder to do traditional publishing and it's looking a lot less fun, I would say. And indie publishing though, so KDP, I think it's KDP. Indie publishing though offers a wide variety. You can publish your book at however many words, you can do whatever you want, you get to pick the cover, you have to do the formatting, you have to do the editing yourself, you have to do the marketing yourself. But for all those upsides, it really is looking like the better choice for me to pick at least. For you guys, it could be a bit different because you guys have a wide variety of books, right? Ranging from 100,000 words to 10,000 words to all the words in between. So it's really hard for me to give advice to you guys, especially since I don't know any of this stuff too. But I would say if you're in the same problem with traditional indie, just pick one. And that's saying a lot considering I haven't picked one yet. But I'm leaning more towards the indie publishing route. So going on Amazon and then ordering the book and it prints on demand and it does all that stuff. The covers by me, the formats by me, the editing is all done by me. Maybe we get some beta readers. That'll probably be a yes for both sides, honestly. We will need beta readers in like a few months. I haven't finished editing or getting it to a state that I kind of like it or it could be well picked at, I guess you could say. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on whether or not I should do traditional or indie, especially from someone experienced, because I don't really know what to do. I've watched a few videos on like what happens if you go down either route, and I do really like the traditional route where it gives you access to the bookstores, it gives you access to the libraries, it puts you out there, but I also don't like how much control they have over it and all the rights and all the you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, you can't talk about these things, all that jazz. I think we're definitely leaning more on the indie publishing. I was originally planning to make this book go through the traditional route until I understood that you need around 65,000 words for a fantasy debut. And then that was where I was sitting there like, I could definitely write a book that long, but I don't really want to do that. And I would rather write book 2 than continue like making book 1 longer. I guess you could say it's a bit fast paced, but then the beta readers can give me points and all that jazz. So I definitely think we're doing beta readers. Not now, so don't tell me yet. I will make a post on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all that jazz about needing beta readers. We'll only need like 3, maybe 7. Doesn't really matter, but that'll be in like next 3 months, so hold your horses. Regarding traditional and indie publishing though, leaning more towards indie. I would say I'm 70% on indie side. I'm less on traditional sides. So I'm trying to do this all in one cut. It's proven a bit hard. But yeah, that is my weekly check-in. So I'm going to cut this video up into a few shorts, keep the channel semi-alive. We'll do another weekly video on next Sunday. And yeah, that's really all I have left. So next Sunday, consider there be another video. And hopefully we get through more of the editing next Sunday. But that is all. I'm TTW. I would like your thoughts on traditional and indie publishing. So I was going to talk about like the cons and the pros and what even is it. But then I sort of just started to yap about what I've been thinking for the past few weeks. So sorry about that if you don't know what any of this is. But traditional publishing and indie publishing are basically just different ways to get the book in hand. That's it. Now, quickly, I know I was about to end the video, but quickly I want to say, if you are experienced and you are watching this video and you are about to write a comment, I have one thing about traditional publishing which I would not like. I rather am picking indie publishing to have the book free online. Whether that be in some website or that's easily accessed by text file, EPUB, whatever. I would rather have the book online than have it as like a paid, you have to buy it online. Now, I'm not talking like Apple Store, I'm talking like on a website, free. That's sort of the only reason I'm leaning more towards indie than traditional. Because I would rather get myself out there for these first few years and then later put myself into the paid mode. But I would rather sit on the edge of despair and write books. Because I do not want you guys paying your life and soul to me. I just want to make enough so I can live. And that is it. So I would rather have the book free online for multiple reasons that I could make a whole video on. But the main reason is to get myself out there and to also get you guys to read the book. If you hear a free book, who isn't going to read it? Then it also prompts that like I will lose sales through KDP, but like honestly, I don't really care. So that's kind of the only reason I'm landing more on indie side than traditional side, but that is it. Now I'm actually done. It's like a 12-minute video. That is weekly check-in number 1. If you want to see the National Writers Month, it's on my YouTube. Should be the video underneath this one. If you're looking on the channel page, maybe, I don't know. And yeah, that's the full log. This is the full weekly check-in. That's my thoughts on traditional and indie publishing. And that's sort of my call to help for you guys to help me out here on whether or not I should do either or. So that is it. Goodbye. See you next week. I may be posting random videos on TikTok and maybe even YouTube here. Not like full-length videos, but like quick shorts just to keep the channel moving. But these weekly check-ins will probably happen for the rest of time. So consider every Sunday the weekly check-in. Well, it's Sunday for me. It could be Monday for you guys. That's it. I'm out.